the fundamental tenet underlying all of the work, all of the programs, is the sacredness of life. Why is water sacred? And let's begin there. Why is it sacred? Well, there's two reasons. One is it's sacred because everything is sacred, because it was created by the divine. And anything that's been created by the divine is therefore sacred. And yet, water has its own specific sacredness to it. That it's not just that it was created by the divine, but it also is that water actually gives life. And that which brings life is considered sacred. Why are women, whether in the form of humans, whether in the form of the divine feminine principle, worshipped with such reverence and such love? Because we actually bring life. That doesn't, of course, mean that we have to bring it out of our very physical, tangible wombs, but the ability to give life, to create life, to sustain life, is something which water has. That which lives in the water depends upon the water for its life, as well as that which lives outside the water, like us. There's almost nothing, if anything at all, which can sustain itself in the absence of water. So water is sacred not just in a vacuum, not because if you take two hydrogens and an oxygen and you bind it together, it suddenly somehow becomes a God principle in a way that one hydrogen and one oxygen isn't. It's not that. It's that water itself is life. In terms of the protection of it, the care for it, the preservation of it, the work that we're doing, the work that everybody needs to do, you've put your finger on something so beautiful, which is in so many areas of our life, not just the aspect of letting that which is yellow mellow, but in so many areas of our life, we really know what the right thing to do is. We know what our world needs us to do in so many situations, whether it's choosing to eat vegetarian over non-vegetarian, whether it's buying organic over non-organic, whether it's buying fair trade over non-fair trade, whether it's choosing companies, products that don't test on animals, that aren't created out of animal products, that aren't taking the land and the resources of indigenous people across the world. With the spread of information these days on the internet, in social media, it's nearly impossible to say, oh my God, I didn't know. That which we know, we tend to push away. It's easier to eat what everybody's eating. It's easier to shop at the store on the corner, even if they don't carry organic. It's easy to buy coffee at the gas station, even though it's not fair trade. It's easier to buy the shampoo that comes 3 in a pack rather than the kind that comes only one in a pack and might be a little more expensive. And so we so frequently allow ourselves to justify choices that we know aren't right. And this is really the challenge that humans are in at this point. I have a firm belief in God that if he, she, it, however we conceive of the divine, really wanted to just make things different, he, she, it could wave a divine magic wand and things would be different. When we speak about omniscience and we speak about the divine being all-powerful, infinite, clearly within that omnipotence, within that infinity, that infinite, boundless nature, comes the ability to change things. But I think that the reason that God is not waving that magic wand is that there's something very crucial in us actually awakening to that within ourselves that makes the change. That within ourselves that puts up stickers. That within ourselves that sits at a table of non-vegetarians and orders vegetarian food. That which says, I'll go without coffee if I can't find that which is organic or fair trade. That which is going to stand up for what we know is right. Not just because the world needs it, but because our own awakening needs it. So many of us let ourselves off the hook by just continuing to shop and live and eat the way that we do, and then sending a check to, the Nature Conservancy or to Greenpeace or something, as though we had somehow balanced out our karmic debt, without realizing that it's not just about the rainforest in a vacuum. It's about our connection to the rainforest. It's about the rainforest as an extension of us. And it's not about the water just as the water. It's about the water outside of us, being an extension of the blood that flows through us. It's all us. From the time that we spend in our mother's womb in that beautiful, liquidy, suspended state, to that which irrigates our fields, to that which hydrates our bodies. It's all about water. To that which, the connection of the moon and the ocean and our high tides and our low tides. That which pulls us, you just study a little bit about astrology and the way that our own lives are impacted simply by the gravitational magnetic pull of the water within us and how it's connected to the moon and the planets. So it's much more than just the water in the tap. It's all of life. And so inherent in whatever we do, and I think this is what we're all really called upon to awaken to, is the sacredness of life and the interconnectedness of life. And that's why we all have to step way out of our comfort zones.